This is one of the most exciting days in the history of the United Center. Now that says a lot. As the world's third busiest arena, we are proud and humbled to have played our part in bringing world-class events to our city and our state. We've played some music. We've raised our share of championship banners. We lost a few friends along the way. But in every step, we've created some of Chicago's most iconic moments. We are about to do it again, but this time, while it's for everyone in the city and the state, this is about our true home, the west side of Chicago. So today, we are unveiling a project that for now has been named the 1901 Project. It's a simple name. It's the address of the United Center, but it's important to us because it symbolizes our anchor as our home here on Madison Street. This ambitious project represents 5 years of vision, discussion, and planning. While the initial vision was created under the guidance of Rocky Wirtz and Jerry Reinsdorf, today it now truly turns next generational. Now recently, amongst the daily preparation for next month's Democratic National Convention, the United Center team has been hard at work gathering details for discussions with the city and the community. It's a $7 billion neighborhood investment that creates space, place, and purpose. It's one of the largest private investments in the city's history, creating opportunity, jobs, even more community engagement. It's going to show the world that Chicago continues to be the entertainment capital of the world by adding a new 6,000-seat, built for music, built by music hall, alongside retail, housing, and expansive open space that's meant to connect community to nature. The 1901 project will produce $4.5 billion in economic impact each year, 63,000 construction jobs, Boy, Kenya, would a train stop look good right here, huh? Wouldn't that look great right over here? I couldn't have set that one up if I wanted to, right? 13,000 permanent jobs on the campus as it matures, over $100 million in annual tax revenues. But most importantly, it is going to grow and expand the economic and social power of the west side of Chicago. We are bringing the energy, we are bringing the diversity, the engagement that lives within the United Center right now. We're going to infuse it into the surrounding neighborhood. We're going to build on top of the $1.2 billion that we have already privately invested into this campus. So to talk about this a little bit more, please welcome first Michael Reinsdorf, President and CEO of the Chicago Bulls, and then after that, Danny Wirtz, Chairman and CEO of the Chicago Blackhawks. Without their vision, this is not possible.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. My father, Jerry, and Danny's grandfather, Bill, built the United Center nearly 30 years ago with a vision that was beyond its time. They saw an opportunity to connect the west side of our city with the economic hub of Chicago's Loop. They saw a vibrant community where there was scarcity, and they made a commitment to invest private resources to bring the vision to life. Over the last 30 years, that original $175 million investment has grown to $1.2 billion, which actually surprised me a little bit. Through the United Center expansion, the development of both the Advocate Center and the Fifth Third Community Ice Arena. It also grew through philanthropic investments, community partnerships, and strong community programming rooted from the United Center. Together with our team partners, we have helped to foster opportunity for Chicagoans of all ages, and from neighborhoods through jobs, small business partnerships, and more. We are committed to and invested in the west side of Chicago. Today, we are excited to announce an extension of that commitment with the largest private investment Chicago's west side has ever seen. The 1901 project is a $7 billion privately funded development project that includes housing, retail, entertainment, and public open space on more than 55 acres of privately owned land surrounding the iconic arena campus. The 1901 project represents a continuation of 100 years combined commitment by our families and partners to invest in Chicago's west side. Our hope is to create a thriving, interconnected neighborhood, delivering significant benefits and resources to the community we have long called home. Spanning an estimated 10 years, the 1901 project is a long-term, multi-phase development vision. The first phase of the project aims to begin in spring of 2025 on property that is today's surface parking lots adjacent to this arena. People around the world feel a connection with the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago Blackhawks. This city feels a connection with the teams, and in turn, we have great pride and great responsibility to make a positive impact on our city and in our community. On behalf of Danny, the Wirtz family, the Reinsdorf family, and all our partners, I'm proud to introduce to you the 1901 project.
Regional champion. And among the loudest arenas in the league, it must be the United Center. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup! Tonight will be remembered as our centennial draft. Please welcome, Oprah. Fantastic moment! Bulls win the title! The Bulls are the world champs again! Hawks win! Hawks win! Hey! It's over! The Bulls win at the buzzer! Denver has won the national championship! Chicago!
Wow, what a video. That gives me the chills every time I see it, and never gets old seeing those great moments at the United Center. Thank you all for being here today. I've had great pleasure of growing up with the near West Side as my second home for as long as I can remember. It was Sunday night Blackhawk games at the Chicago Stadium with my family. For us, that was our version of Sunday night dinners with my aunts and uncles, grandparents, parents. And fast forward to today, I'm raising my two daughters just a mile and a half here from the United Center. The West Side has been very good to us. The vision for the 1901 project was sparked years ago by my father, Rocky, and his great friend and business partner, Jerry Reinsdorf. It's bittersweet to stand here today to bring this vision to life nearly 1 year to the day that my dad left us. I know he, like Jerry, couldn't be happier to see Michael and I building upon our family's legacy and giving back to Chicago in just a small way, a city that has been so good to us. I have the pleasure today of sharing with you the vision of how the 1901 project will become a reality. Though it will not happen overnight, we're very excited to roll up our sleeves and begin the very hard work ahead of us. So phase one, which is going to be the most public-facing aspect of our plan, starting with a 6,000-seat music hall and performing arts center located on the northeast corner of Damon and Adams Street, what is now parking lot K. The music hall has been delicately and deliberately designed with community, inclusivity, and cultural richness top of mind, adding to the already rich cultural and musical heritage and reputation of Chicago and its amazing music venues. Each group was thought of in the design, from the guest and fan, to the artist, to the employee and the community. From the ground up, you have a tremendous opportunity to create something truly world-class. It will also be a community anchor for the arts and programming and celebrating the rich tapestry of talent that resides right here in this neighborhood, in this community, from graduations to community performances. Phase one will also include a dual purpose of our United Center parking needs by including more than 10 acres of elevated parks and green space on top of the parking structures. So imagine the blocks you currently see as surface parking lots and now will be used as public soccer fields, recreational space, walking paths, and open plazas. Our community and our neighbors need more green space, and we can do this through this project and boost the opportunities available to West Siders and their families. This is designed to connect community to nature, to create space, place, and purpose for all to enjoy. And of course, to make the neighborhood 365-day-a-year destination, for it to be an economic engine, we plan to welcome exciting retail and restaurants to the campus. We want to bring local jobs and training opportunities to the community and provide entrepreneurship opportunities for small minority and local businesses. We have a strong track record at the United Center of establishing business partners with our neighbors and the local community, and we have every intention to bring that to life with the 1901 project. Today at the United Center, from the Bulls, Blackhawks, and the many concerts we host, we are stewards of legendary moments and memories, and we take great responsibility to create iconic experiences. These memories are now no longer confined to a single building, and we can now open experiences for all to enjoy, taking that energy and excitement that lives within the walls of the United Center and infuse it in our surrounding area. We couldn't be more proud of all that is ahead, and we thank you so much for your support. And now, I'd like to introduce Kenya Merritt, Deputy Mayor.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is an honor to be with all of you here today as we announce the 1901 project. This is an incredible investment for the West Side, but for all of Chicago, aiming to create a better, stronger, and safer city for everyone. The 1901 project represents an exciting opportunity to leverage the United Center's prime location between the West Side and downtown. And I'd like to thank the Wirtz family as well as the Reinsdorf family for their vision, as well as their commitment to the West Side and continuing to invest in its growth. And so this development will create a new mixed-use economy for the near West Side and our entire city, generating thousands of permanent and temporary jobs for our residents. By reversing decades of parking lot expansion around Madison and Damon, the 1901 project is embracing a contemporary approach to mixed-use entertainment districts, and this shift will significantly improve the urban landscape and create a more dynamic, community-focused environment for all Chicagoans. And this project aligns with Mayor Johnson's administration. Great shout out, Terry, around equitable transit-oriented development. So yes, we can have a conversation with CTA. And so we look forward to working with the CTA and the development team on the details that will yield significant benefits for years to come. This project is not about its buildings. It's building a stronger, more inclusive community Congratulations to the investors, to the developers, to the community partners, to those who had the vision, who collaborated on this amazing project. Your dedication and hard work are transforming our city's landscape and providing new opportunities for our residents. And together, we're paving the way for a brighter future for the west side of Chicago. And so now I'm thrilled to introduce my favorite alderman, Vice Mayor Walter Burnett, whose support and vision, no shade, Alderman Conway. I love you too. If I'm in your ward, you're my favorite alderman. But Vice Mayor Burnett, whose support and vision for his ward is truly outstanding and has been instrumental in the continuous development of the Near West Side. Vice Mayor.
Good afternoon, good morning to the Deputy Mayor and to my colleague, Alderman Conway, to the community representatives that are here, Ernest Gates from the Near West Side, Eddie Winters from the Howe organization, Allison Henson from the Medical District. We're missing a couple of people. We have the President Sanders from Malcolm X College. We're missing the folks from Henry Horner. We have a very diverse community, very active community. You know, I wear this Blackhawks hat. I was telling Danny that I wore a Cubs hat when I came to a meeting over here before, and I was in a parking lot with Rocky, and he said, "What you doing with that Cubs hat on?" He said, "Come here." And he went in his trunk and he pulled out 3 Blackhawks hats. I'm sure they appraised for under $50. And he gave them, and he gave them to me. He said, "Put this on. Don't wear that hat no more." You know, a year ago, and I've been blessed to have been around for a minute. A year ago, I had a meeting with Rocky and Jerry. And we talked about this project. But also, at that same time, we ended up sitting there for a minute in Howard, and we started reminiscing. And we started reminiscing about 30 years ago, when the United Center was built, and all of the things that happened at that time when the building was going on, where Ernest Gates and them, who was their rival at that time, marched on them in the community, and they sat down with the community and the churches, and they came up with all of these great things to replace people's houses, give people jobs, come up with a loan fund for the community, you know, and also they even put some of the folks from Henry Horner had a janitorial service working in the United Center and working at White Sox Park. All of the great things that this organization has done for the community, and then they went on and started their non-for-profit organizations, Bulls Charity, Blackhawks Charity, and both of them are doing great things in the community and have been doing great things in the community for many years. I'd be remiss if I did not mention all of the great things they've been doing for Malcolm X College for many years, way back then, when Zeri Campbell was the president of Malcolm X. And we were reminiscing, and me and Howard was talking about all those war stories back then, and laughing, and you know, and we were laughing, and Rocky was laughing, and we had a good time. And you know, that's my last time seeing Rocky, man. You know, right after that he got sick. You know, but I'm gonna tell you, it's been an honor and a pleasure to work with this family, with both families, 3 generations of Wirtzes, 2 generations of Reinsdorf so far. I hear there's another one coming on board pretty soon. And, you know, for over 30 years, we've been family. They've been dedicated to the community, always willing to help, you know, help with the Boys and Girls Club, help with some of the charter schools in the area. The United Center has been such a blessing to our community. But I'm going to tell you, I'm like that, you know, that their hair commercial where they say, I don't just wear the hair, I'm the owner type of thing. Well, I'm not just an alderman over here, I live over here also, where I live right in the shadows of the United Center. And coincidentally, I live right across the street from a parking lot. So for years, I've been telling them, come on, man, when y'all gonna do something with these parking lots, right? So I'm so excited. I'm sure the community is gonna be excited. Of course, we gotta go through a community process, but the community is gonna be so excited to see all of the great things coming to our area, coming west of Ashland, right? So to all of the developers out there, all of the people who's looking to invest in things, invest west. Go west, young man. That's where it's happening at. It's happening on the west side, right? They done did everything east of here. It's happening west. So there's a lot of great properties over here, a lot of opportunities over here for us to continue to help the city to grow. And everybody who can't afford to live on the east side are coming to the west side. So this is very exciting to have all of that green space, to be able to help our environment, to get rid of those black parking lots, asphalt parking lots. I mean, this is a win-win. And also to get a new L stop, another new L stop. This is a win-win, not only for these organizations, but it's not only a win-win for our community. It's a win-win for the city of Chicago. I'm very happy, and I thank God for the opportunity to have been around long enough to be able to see this happen. Thank you. Congratulations. And I apologize. I had another duty. So it gives me great honor and pleasure to introduce a person who's helping our young kids to stay on the straight and narrow and enjoy themselves with their, their idle time. Let's give it up for Will Edmondson from the Boys and Girls Club.
Thanks, Alderman. Good morning, everyone. As the Alderman said, my name is Will Edmondson, and I'm with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Chicago, and I'm the club director of the James R. Jordan Club, which is located about 2 blocks from here. Since the club opened its doors in 1996, thanks to generous investments from the Chicago Bulls, the Reinsdorf family, and the Jordan family, the James R. Jordan Boys and Girls Club has been a source of hope and opportunity for thousands of young people and families right here on the west side. Thank you especially to Jerry Reinsdorf, who got the ball rolling back in 1994 and remains committed to supporting and investing in the west side, its families and its children, as evidenced by the project being unveiled today. We've seen firsthand the incredible impact that can be made when a community comes together and commits to ensuring bright futures for all of its young people. Through the years, our partnership with the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago Blackhawks has enriched our club members in countless ways, including once-in-a-lifetime experiences and programming focused on sports and fitness, healthy lifestyles, academic success, and that's just to name a few. As an organization with a proud presence in this dynamic neighborhood, we know how critical these resources are to sustaining a vibrant community. That is why we are excited about the potential this project has to lift up the voices and the experiences of our youth, to ensure even more have every opportunity they deserve, explore new passions, build new skills, and to strive for success. As a youth development organization committed to ensuring every young person in Chicago has a pathway to the bright future they deserve, we are excited about the announcement of the 1901 Project and the endless possibilities it will bring for children and teens on our city's west side. This initiative is an investment in the neighborhood today and for future generations. We are grateful for the ongoing support from the Blackhawks and the Bulls and look forward to what's to come. So thank you guys again for this project, and now I'll turn it back over to Terry.
Thanks, everyone. A lot of impact in this project. Just to remind you of a couple of those numbers. Remember what we said, $4.5 billion in annual economic impact, 63,000 construction jobs, 13,000 permanent jobs once this project reaches maturity, and over $100 million a year in annual tax revenue. But let's remember what this is about. This is about growing and expanding the economic and social power of our home, which is the west side of Chicago. So before we open up for some question and answer, I have a great job. I get to do some really cool things. But my favorite thing is to take 1 minute at the end of any presentation we do and make sure I recognize the people who actually did the real work. They just tell me to come up and say these words, but I always want to point out who actually had to put the hours, weeks, and months of time to pull this thing off. So first of all, Colleen Quinn, where are you, Colleen? Colleen has risen through our organization so fast, I honestly do not know what her title is today, and that is the honest to God's truth. But I call Colleen our director of direction. Every day for me starts with something from Colleen. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going into the community. We're going in to see a developer. We have legal this, and every day ends with her recap as to how we did. The great team at Res Publica, our strategy and public relations consultants, Kristen, Julie, Marnie are somewhere right here. Great job with them. And of course, Guy Chipperoni in the air conditioning. So, all right. The great Sergio Lozano and the United Center production and creative team. So, no matter how big we build this eventual project, it cannot hold all the awards that Sergio and his team have won. So, and that is the truth. The 1901 team, all of them sitting in various spots here. Your work is just beginning. The amount of work and dedication, especially in recent months, is as great as I've seen in my career, but the hard part's coming. But we know you're all up to the challenge. One last person. Before we go to Q&A, our longtime executive vice president, Howard Pizer. 35 years ago, Howard and I walked this United Center journey together through some of the stories that Walter was discussing. He will continue to work with us on this project, especially in the community, but on some finance and other items as well. And just for a little bit of context, almost exactly 43 years ago, I came to Howard from a town in Ohio that I was pretty sure he had never heard of, and I know he could not pronounce. And for some reason, Howard decided to take a chance on me. So I think it's worked out, but I know we still have other work to do. So with that, I think that Danny and Mike are coming back up we'll field some questions. I'm switching to sunglasses. It's killer.
Questions for you. The residential piece of this, tell me how big you're talking about, how many buildings, how many units, who's going to be able to afford to buy them, how many people you see moving into this area?
The market study work that we've done in the initial planning shows about 5,000 residential units over time. We have committed to, at a minimum, 20% affordable as part of that. We also have some other products that we think will be reflective to what's going on in our community. We have some conversations coming up with President Sanders as to what we could do to help to support Malcolm X. But we think over time that we are going to have living products that'll meet every level of economic demographic in the city.
The other question you're going to hear from Blackhawks and Bulls fans, obviously, is where are we going to park? Tell me more about this garage. You're eliminating a lot of surface parking. Are you going to have enough spots to replace it to fit all the fans in here?
All right. Mike, you want to take that one? No, I should.
I'll let Terry take that.
That's it. What we're going to do with each of our phases is we're going to try to stay one step ahead and have enough parking to get us to the next phase. So in phase 1, you'll see that there are 2 short parking garages. One I think is 1 level, one maybe 3 levels. So we're going to replace the parking that we need to build the music hall in phase 1 underneath the elevated parks. And then each phase will satisfy the phase that's coming ahead. We're well aware that even though there is a change in people's habits with rideshare and increasing reliance on public transportation, especially with younger people, we are aware we still have to accommodate vehicles. So we have the additional land that we've acquired and the built-in garages underneath some of these elevated parks. We're confident we can always stay at least one step ahead for future build-out to ensure we can still accommodate cars for games.
Good morning. Let's talk financing of this project. You mentioned that it is entirely private financing. Are you asking the city for any money? Obviously, we're discussing the possibility of adding a CTA line. I imagine those would have to be public funds, or what are those conversations looking like?
Those conversations are just starting. We know we're adjacent to an existing TIF. We're open to having the conversations with the city as to how that TIF might support, whether it's transit or some of the other infrastructure pieces. But outside of that, a question I was asked yesterday was how much public money is going into your music hall? None. It is 100% privately financed.
Hi, Lee John Greco, Block Club. Onto the public money question. So you've mentioned you're not asking for city funding or TIF funding. That's what the Sun-Times reported. But can you commit today that you are not going to go to Springfield and ask for state money, as the White Sox have already done?
We are not going to Springfield to ask for money as the White Sox have done. If that's the... Good? Or the Bears, by the way.
Yeah, Haley Bostic for WBEZ. Have you spoken to the CTA about increased bus lines, any more transportation? You're talking a lot about a train stop. It seems like that's something you'd like. What have you spoken to with the CTA? What are those looks?
We've had some initial meetings with CTA just to get them to understand the project. It wouldn't be right for us to consider a project of this magnitude in this type of an urban setting without considering the broader transportation impact. So we've had a couple of meetings with them, and we look forward to a continuing engagement.
Thank you.
We're going to add more divvy bikes also.
Good morning, Miranda Davis, Bloomberg News. 2 questions. On the $7 billion private investment, is that just from the 2 families? Is there any debt involved? Is there any additional investors? And then the second question, on the $4.5 billion in stabilized economic impact, where are you getting that estimate? Walk me through crunching those numbers.
Well, second one first, I would have to get, we can get, copies of the study or summaries of that study from our financial people, but let me go to the first one. We are still in conversations, not only amongst ourselves, but with the outside business world as to who may want to come partner with us, who may want to be, an investor, whether we take on a development partner. We know that our task first is getting city and neighborhood community agreement as to what we want to do. Once we get past that step, we'll be getting deeper into those conversations. You guys let Danny and Mike off so easy. Come on. Right.
Sorry. Hey,
yeah, Danny, about that third wing on the third line. Come on. Something. Go ahead.
I actually want to clarify about the TIF real quick, because it was a little confusing in the Sun-Times. You said you weren't seeking TIF money, but then you mentioned, you're adjacent to a TIF. So you are going to use TIF money for this?
We are adjacent to an existing TIF district. The United Center is not in TIF district, but part of the land that we've acquired for this development is adjacent to it. So we're welcomed and open to some conversations with the city as to whether some of that funding could help to support whether it's transit improvements or some of the infrastructure improvements.
So in other words, it's safe to say TIF money is on the table for this?
For a limited amount of items. I think where the Sun-Times may have missed it is when we were talking about some of the specific buildings, and they asked about the music hall, for example. There is no public money going into the music hall. That's 100% privately financed.
Okay, thanks.
Just a question for Mr. Reinsdorf. Some may look at this and say, all right, go ahead. Question for Mr. Reinsdorf. Some may look at this and say, you're spending $7 billion with other people on a private project. If you can do that here, why not private money for a White Sox ballpark?
Well, that's a whole different project with a different set of circumstances, and that's probably something that we can talk about at another time. So we're trying to focus on the opportunity here on the west side, the fact that we have a great anchor already in the United Center. We have other anchors coming online soon. So the focus is here, something that can be talked about, probably in another session and another time.
Hey guys, this one's from Michael and Danny. If you can, one of you or maybe both can address this. Why now? Why was now the time to do this? What prompted this? I know you guys, and I've talked to you about this idea for years and trying to figure out what to do with these parking lots. Why now? And how did you think about what do you do with these parking lots so that it's a plan that's going to, evolve and serve the fans and your customers for years and years?
That one?
Yeah, so I think you never want to be too early and you never want to be too late. And I think I give a lot of credit to the incredible growth we're seeing around us. Obviously, the evolution of the West Loop and Fulton Market, the medical district, and of course the increasing need to bridge the neighborhoods west of us. So all those things have been evolving over the last several years. This has also been, if we're going to make a generational bet, it takes time. And I think we took a lot of care, and it's been informally, probably for the last 5 to 10 years, we've been talking about this. So it's not, we woke up one day, wrote up some plans. You're making a major generational bet. So the time and care, building understanding and coalition with our neighbors and with elected officials has been really important to doing that up until now. So we think the time now is right, and the city is ready for it, and we're ready to do it and do it well. These things can be done quickly, and we think we want to take the time to do it right. Think about the types of uses that are not only needed now, but really future-proofing for where the city's going and what the needs of the community are going to be 10, 20, 30 years, our kids and grandkids' ages. So that's kind of our thinking around this. This is definitely multi-generational.
It's important to understand this is not an entertainment district. We're not building an entertainment district. We're transforming this neighborhood. So there's a lot of teams throughout the country that build their entertainment districts, but this is so much more. And it has been 5 to probably 10 years where we started talking about this, trying to come up with a master plan, and I think we finally got this right. I'm glad we took our time, and now it's, the hard work is ahead of us.
Thank you, everyone. We can follow up with any additional questions.
Good job, man. Good job, bud.